Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Public Cloud Design Tips and Tricks. In this channel, we are going to discuss about public cloud design problem statements and their related solution. We are going to discuss about three public cloud vendors, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and this chapter onwards we are going to discuss about Google Cloud. So today's problem statement, how to achieve high availability without requiring the consumer to maintain the server with public cloud environment. That means if you are writing a simple application, let it be in Python or in Java, you do not need to provision a server, rather than you want to go ahead without a server. To achieve this, Microsoft Azure has implemented Azure Function, AWS has implemented AWS Lambda, and Google Cloud has Google Cloud Functions. So that is known as serverless concept. Serverless is the solution to our problem statement. So what is serverless? Serverless is a cloud computing pattern or a technique. It uploads the responsibility of maintain, provisioning, patching and scaling. So and ensuring high availability of the compute unit or a server. Enables the architects and developers to focus more on the application rather than the infrastructure. It helps in designing and building. It also helps in speeding up time to market, as the developer do not need to understand the infrastructure, do not need to take care of the servers. There they will completely focus on the application development. That's where it will help quick to market. It reduces overall cost because you are going to use your server for the timing for which your application is running, and rest of the time the servers will be definitely removed. That's where serverless is coming to picture. And also at the end it increases overall productivity. So that is the power of serverless. Now let's try to consider three important serverless architecture. One is database. So serverless database framework or database operations, this is one of the famous and marketing strategy for public cloud vendors. If you look into Amazon, then they have DynamoDB. If you look into Azure, they have Cosmos DB, and Google also has their own database for serverless factor. And with this serverless database, you do not have to provision the database server, rather than it will be maintained or provisioned by the public cloud vendor. Second, FAAS, function as a service. So function as a service is nothing but where your business logic as a function on a cloud platform for an enterprise that gets triggered on demand. That means when you need that particular activities to be done, that time itself the server will provision and the related function will trigger and execution will happen. And after the execution is successful, after that with a certain period of time, the entire server will be removed. And today we are going to discuss about, this is the one important part, backend as a service. Backend as a service, that means backend API as a service on a cloud platform for an enterprise that gets triggered or consumed for any front-end application. So if we try to understand BaaS, that means it's a cloud service model in which developer outsource all the behind the scene aspect of a web or mobile application, so that they only have to write and maintain the front-end part. That's how BaaS is also coming to picture. Now let's try to understand native offering for FAAS. As we understood, for FAAS, AWS has AWS Lambda. So Lambda service, it's a serverless framework for Amazon supports, with which Amazon supports different programming languages, Java, Python, C#, Node.js, etc. For Azure Function, it is also a serverless framework where service where it also supports Java, Python, C# and many more. Node.js and many other languages are also getting supported. And the third one, Google Cloud Functions, serverless framework from Google, supports Java, Python, .NET, Go, PHP, many more. So these are all main FAAS services, function as a service, where the developer has to only write the piece of code that needs to be run. They do not have to take care of the server, rather than the piece of code will be just triggered and the function app will run. So that's how it works. Now let's try to understand few design patterns. So first one is event driven. So event driven means your function will trigger from an event. The event can trigger from any source. The source can be a storage account or a service bus or a SQS. That means let's think about the service bus. In service bus, there is a queue, and inside the queue you have put certain message, and after the message is delivered to the queue, then you want to trigger a function. that time you can configure your function app to the service bus queue. When there is a message arrived, that time your function will trigger. That's where we call it as event driven mechanism. Then the web apps. Web apps is a serverless web apps process run to determine who the user is and what information should be served to that particular user inside the application. A web app or a Lambda is a combination of its API gateway. Generally, if you think about a web app, then it always stands behind a API gateway or a gateway. Then the third one is a mobile and IoT. Same as web apps, user authentication is deployed to determine who the user is, and the custom content is served up based on the user profile. That means AWS Cognito or AWS IoT. And the last one, application integration. An application ecosystem for serverless application is one where workflows and applications are created in serverless environment. Amazon API Gateway, Simple Workflow, and Lambda, these are all examples. We have gathered all this information by following these links. Please feel free to go through the links and try to read as much as possible regarding serverless. If you are heading towards architecting in public cloud, then this is one of the most important area you should focus, try to understand, because this will give lot of benefit to your organization. And at the end, if you like our video and got the information that you are looking for, then please don't forget to like our video, share the video, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.